You have been told a lie. A lie so convincing that you have likely built your entire spiritual practice around it. You've been told that manifesting your dream life is hard, that it takes complicated rituals, endless visualizations, perfectly worded affirmations, and a constant, exhausting grind to raise your vibration. But what if I told you that quantum manifestation is actually stunningly simple? So simple, in fact, that almost nobody does it right. Right now, in this very moment, you are living inside a quantum field, a field of infinite possibilities, a field that responds not to your effort, but to your alignment. And yet, look at how most people approach manifestation. They treat it like a battle. They try to overpower their current reality with sheer willpower. They repeat affirmations they don't really believe. They visualize outcomes they secretly doubt. And they force themselves to think positive thoughts while their body is still locked in fear, scarcity, and stress. And this is where the whole system collapses. Because in the quantum world, forcing creates friction. Let me make this beautifully simple for you. Quantum manifestation isn't about getting what you want. It is about collapsing the version of reality where you already have it. It is not about changing the outside world first. It is about embodying the internal signal that pulls that world toward you. The quantum field holds every possibility: success and failure, abundance and lack, love and loneliness, health and struggle. All of it already exists as waves of probability. But here is the kicker. The wave doesn't collapse into your lived reality until it meets a consistent observer. That observer is you. Your focus, your attention, your emotions, they are the sculptors of your reality. But most people are caught in a loop. They are observing from fear. They are focusing on what is missing. They are vibrating in the frequency of lack while trying to pull in abundance. And in the language of the quantum, this is noise, not signal. You've been taught to chase what you want. But the real art of manifestation is becoming the version of you that no longer needs to chase. It is the version that remembers, I am already entangled with the life I desire. The field is waiting for my signal. My job isn't to push harder, it is to become clearer. So, why don't people do this? Why do we cling to the struggle? Because simplicity feels disarming. because letting go feels unnatural to the ego, because surrendering the chase feels like giving up. But here is the paradox nobody talks about. The moment you stop needing it so badly, the field can finally deliver it to you. Let me give you a real-world example. Think about a time in your life when something came to you effortlessly. Maybe you ran into the perfect person by accident. Maybe you got an opportunity you weren't even looking for, or had a breakthrough idea when you weren't even trying. What was the common thread in those moments? You weren't gripping, you weren't forcing, you weren't desperate. You were open, aligned, available. That is quantum manifestation at work, whether you realized it or not. You see, the quantum doesn't care about your words. It doesn't care about your vision board. It reads your energy. You can say, "I am wealthy," 1,000 times. But if your body is still broadcasting fear, if your heart is still clenched in scarcity, if your nervous system is still addicted to struggle, the field will mirror that chaos back to you. Not because it is cruel, but because it is precise. So, here is the radical shift. Quantum manifestation begins when you stop focusing on getting and start focusing on being. You become the signal. You embody the vibration. You let your state lead, not your effort. But that raises a critical question. What exactly does the quantum field respond to? Is it just thoughts, emotions, beliefs, actions? And how do you align these layers so they aren't sending mixed messages? This is where most manifestation teachings fall apart. They focus on just one piece, usually thoughts or feelings, without addressing the deeper consistency of the system. They tell you to think positive without addressing the trauma stored in your body. They tell you to visualize without clearing the subconscious sabotage that derails you. They tell you to affirm success while your nervous system is still bracing for failure. But the quantum listens to the whole signal, the integrated, embodied signal. And that's why alignment isn't a mental game. It is a full body, full system, full field shift. Let's go deeper into the mechanics. The quantum field is not responding to your wishes. It is responding to your coherence. At its core, quantum manifestation isn't just about thoughts, or just emotions, or just actions. It's about how these three align into a coherent signal that the field can read without distortion. Think of the quantum field like a cosmic translator. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, the message is clear, the vibration is steady, and the field responds almost instantly. But when you're thinking one thing, feeling another, and doing something completely different, the message gets scrambled. The field mirrors back not clarity, but chaos. This brings us to the observer effect, a cornerstone of quantum physics. At the quantum level, particles exist in a state of pure possibility, what we call a wave function. But when an observer, you, focuses on a particular possibility, that wave collapses into a fixed event. Reality solidifies, choices crystallize, the unseen becomes seen. But here is the catch. The observer isn't just your conscious mind. The observer is also your subconscious. This means that even if you consciously want abundance, if your subconscious is wired for survival, scarcity, or fear, the field picks up on that hidden broadcast. Your subconscious becomes the true observer, collapsing a timeline you didn't consciously choose. That's why so many people feel stuck. They align their surface mind, but ignore the deep programs running underneath. And in the quantum game, the subconscious always wins.
But it gets even more fascinating. Scientists like 𝗖𝗛𝗔𝗣𝗧𝗘𝗥𝗦 and Bruce Lipton have shown that the heart has its own electromagnetic field, far stronger than the brain's. This heart field radiates out and interacts with the larger quantum field around you. When your heart and brain are in coherence, you're sending out a powerful, unified signal. When they're out of sync, the signal becomes weak and fragmented. This is why trying to manifest from your mind alone fails so often. Without the emotional component, the felt sense of alignment, the quantum field has no clear signal to mirror back. And this is where most people miss the mark. They want to think their way into change, when in truth they need to feel their way into alignment. You can't just tell the field what you want. You have to become the vibrational match to it. That means tuning your body, your breath, your nervous system, your beliefs, your daily choices into harmony. It's not a one-time ritual. It is a living practice. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine you want to manifest love. You can write affirmations, make vision boards, visualize your ideal partner. But deep down, you're carrying wounds of unworthiness. If your nervous system is braced for rejection, if your heart is armored and afraid to open, the quantum field feels that tension. It picks up the contradiction, and what you get back is more longing, more searching, more almost but not quite connections. It's not that the universe is punishing you. It is perfectly mirroring your dominant frequency. So what's the shift? The shift is into coherence, into feeling whole now, into practicing the emotions of what you desire before it shows up, into embodying the state of already having it, so the field can collapse that timeline into form. You become the frequency first, the form follows.
So why is it that almost nobody actually does this? Why, with all the books, courses, and endless YouTube videos on manifestation, do so many people stay stuck, frustrated, and disappointed? The answer is both simple and uncomfortable. Because letting go feels unnatural. The human mind is addicted to control. We've been conditioned to believe that the more we work, the more we deserve. That struggle equals worth. That the harder we push, the more likely we are to succeed. So when we encounter a system like quantum manifestation, where the central key is coherence, alignment, and surrender, it short-circuits our programming. We keep trying to force outcomes, even though forcing is the very frequency that tells the field, I don't trust the process. Let me break this down. Most people who fail at manifestation are caught in what I call the control trap. They are constantly monitoring their results. They visualize abundance, but check their bank account every hour with anxiety. They script about love, but obsess over text messages and dating apps. They declare health, but scan their body for symptoms every morning. In doing this, they send a signal of mistrust to the field. They are affirming one thing consciously, but broadcasting the opposite subconsciously. Why does this matter so much? Because the quantum field doesn't speak English, Spanish, or any human language. It speaks the language of energy, and energy never lies. You can say all the right words, but if your nervous system is bracing for loss, if your mind is locked in loops of doubt, if your body is flooded with stress hormones, the field listens to that deeper frequency. This is why so many people are exhausted. They are doing all the things, but they are doing them from a place of hypervigilance, scarcity, and lack. And so they loop. They manifest more waiting, more lack, more effort, because energetically they are not in the timeline of already having, they are in the timeline of trying to get.
So, what can you do? First, you need to understand that quantum manifestation isn't an add-on to your life. It is a recalibration of your whole system, a remembering.
a returning. It's about becoming the version of you that lives inside the timeline you desire, before you see evidence of that timeline in your external world. For example, if you want to manifest abundance, you practice feeling abundant now, not later, not when the money arrives, but now. You treat yourself with generosity, presence, and care. You let go of micromanaging the outcome, and you focus on embodying the signal of trust. If you want love, you practice loving yourself now. You open your heart, you soften your edges. You become the kind of partner you wish to attract. You stop seeking validation and start living as though you are already enough, because you are. If you want health, you stop scanning your body for what's wrong, and you begin nurturing what's right. You shift from survival mode into resilience. And here is the paradox. When you stop needing it so badly, it arrives faster. Not because the universe is testing you, but because you are no longer the resistance. So let me ask you this. Where in your life are you still holding the steering wheel with white knuckles? Where are you still measuring, tracking, forcing, and chasing? What would happen if you loosened your grip by just 10%? Pause with that for a moment. This isn't about passivity. It is about shifting from control to co-creation. And that shift, subtle, powerful, revolutionary, is where quantum manifestation actually begins to work, becoming the signal. And here we stand, right at the edge of the most powerful truth. It is this: you don't manifest what you want, you manifest what you are. This isn't just a pretty idea. It is a fundamental principle. The field doesn't respond to your words or vision boards. It responds to the signal of your being, the vibrational signature you carry into every room. And that signal is built moment by moment, not in what you're doing, but in how you're being. Let me explain this with a metaphor. Imagine you're a radio. If you want to hear jazz, you don't sit there demanding jazz from the universe while staying tuned to a heavy metal station. You have to change the dial. You have to tune your frequency to match what you want to receive. Quantum manifestation works the same way. You can't pull in the timeline you desire while vibrating in the frequency of the timeline you're trying to leave behind. So how do you change the dial? You start by becoming conscious of your current frequency. Not just what you think, but how you feel. How does your body move through the day? How do you breathe when you're stressed? What stories run on a loop in the background of your mind? Most of us aren't manifesting deliberately. we're manifesting on autopilot. The shift begins when you interrupt the pattern, not with brute force, but with simple embodied practices. It can be as subtle as taking a conscious breath in a moment of anxiety, as gentle as placing a hand on your heart when you're spiraling into self-doubt, as bold as asking yourself, what would the version of me who already has this do right now? And then taking one small action from that place. Because here's what no one tells you. The quantum doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be coherent. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in the same direction, the universe has no choice but to flow with you.
Manifestation is not a performance. It is a living practice. In the comments, leave just one word that represents the frequency you are choosing to embody this week. Anchor it down. And if you are ready to stop chasing and start engineering your reality, subscribe to the laboratory. Keep tuning. Keep aligning. Keep playing in the field. Welcome to Quantum Core.